Hello and welcome into the ReMix. I'm Brianna Pitts. A play about the filming of the movie Jaws, a book that gives a behind-the-scenes look at the restaurant world, and Boston Calling. That is all to come on the show today. And we start with the Boston-based band set to play the music festival for the first time. Well, Boston Calling is now less than a month away, and we are welcoming one of the many great bands that will be performing at the music festival. We have with us today Copilot, a Boston-based band here, lead singers Maggie Hall, Ryan McDonald, and Jake Machel. Thank you all so much for coming in.
Thank you
for having us. We're excited
to be here.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you. First off, for people at home who don't know, tell us a little bit about yourselves and how this band formed.
Well, Maggie and I went to high school together, and Jake and I went to college together. And so the short-winded answer is school.
Okay.
School is how we all met, and we started just kind of singing. We were all in different projects, but we all really were big fans of each other.
Gotcha.
And so it was like a dream to be able to sing together. So we finally did. We got to do it one time at like some party that one of our friends was having, and we were like, "This is really fun, and let's make it a thing."
And you're all local, correct?
Pretty much. I would say the most non-local is Jake.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm up Manchester, New Hampshire.
Oh, well, that's still New England, Jake.
Yeah,
That counts.
exactly.
That absolutely counts. Okay, so so you were trusted to play at a house party and things took off from there.
Trusted.
Basically.
They said, why don't we give it a shot?
What could go wrong, right?
Yeah.
How would you describe your sound to someone?
I would say it's like a little like pop, like roots pop, like some indie rock in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We're big fans of like other local bands like Lake Street Dive, and we love Alabama Shakes. Our influences come from all over the place, really.
Yeah, for sure.
All tied right into the Beatles, though.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Bring it back, baby.
There's definitely a retro vibe to your music too, I think, which I just listening to you play and kind of watching you, I think there's definitely like a old school retro vibe that I like as well.
Yeah, I would say so.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah.
We're all like, again, like we have all grown up with like listening to the Beatles and even like folk artists too.
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac.
Right.
And I love that.
So many great influences. Tell us about performing at Boston Calling. How did you find out that you were going to be performing? Is it a good story? I get the sense it's a good story.
It's like, it's one of those, it is a you had to be there story, but it is a great story because I found out from our manager that we got the nod, which we had wanted to do it for so long. All being sort of in New England, like growing up here, and I found out, and we had rehearsal that night, and so I was like, I just set up the phone like on my lap and was recording a video of the band reacting to hearing the news and it was perfect because Jake had a particularly hard day at work and he was just finishing telling us all about the tough work day, and I was like, well, I have some good news, and so we got to kind of share that moment, it was really fun to just kind of break the news to everybody in person. So
it's like a marriage proposal or a baby announcement, like you're recording it on the phone.
Yep, basically.
Yes.
It was.
I'm no cinematographer, so it's not the greatest video, but it does the job.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's your baby, right? Performing at Boston Calling.
That's right.
We're very excited.
Is that kind of surreal to you guys? You said it's something you've always wanted to do, a bucket list. How does it feel to know that you're going to be doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just funny because like we're in a band and I think you never know like the history of the band, and I think like we're all really big, not only fans of each other, but like we're all like really best friends. And I think to be on this journey like with these guys, it's been a journey, and like we've been playing music I think for Ryan and I for over 10 years, and then as a full band for like probably 6. So I think like getting to this moment together is just like it's very surreal. It's very it's very exciting.
Yeah, you're getting to share it with your best friends, and that's
great.
That's very special.
Yeah.
Okay, you also just released an EP, so tell us a little bit about that.
We released an EP called Vroom Vroom Etc. And it's all on Spotify, Apple Music. It was recorded by our good friend Shaquette Druyan, and we got to shout out the rest of the band: Dylan, All Wine, Austin Beverage, and Jack Snow, our very talented band. And it was like one of our first projects that we felt like we got to capture the live sound that we really have been searching for. So we were thrilled to like work with someone. We've known Shaq since we were our early days, we used to play on Lansdowne Street and in Southie doing covers, and he was one of our first sound guys. So it was a full circle moment for us to do a record with him, and he's so talented. So it was really, really cool.
It's so fun. Final question for you guys. What do you think it's going to be like being on stage, looking out, seeing that crowd?
Just, I live for it. What a rush, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know that we ever take any show for granted, you know? I think being able to be on stage and perform for people and move them with your music is maybe the greatest gift anything has ever given me in the world, short of my wife, bless you. You know, when you walk out on stage and you just look out and see people there to listen to you and partake in music, it really is mind-blowing. I literally can't imagine it right now. Yeah. I'm sure it'll rock me, so.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a single tear.
Maybe a single tear.
Just streaming. Have the tissues.
I know.
Have the tissues ready.
We've been practicing the single tear moment. It's just fair. We're ready for it. Yeah.
Okay, and we just discussed the EP. Tell us one more time where people can find it.
Spotify, Apple Music, really anywhere you like to stream, you know, like your music, you can find it there. Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Maggie Hall, Ryan McDonald, Jake Machel of the band Copilot. Go see them at Boston Calling. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
They can put a man on the moon, but they can't make a mechanical fish that floats.
It's a smorgasbord for Jaws fans, but more to the point, it's a really good, clever, intelligent play.
Well, the play The Shark is Broken is a feast for fans of the film Jaws that is about to celebrate its 50th anniversary. It's an inside look at the relationship between the three main actors during the production, Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Scheider, and Robert Shaw, who spent hours out on the open water while film crews tried fixing the mechanical shark. As WBZ's Chris Tanaka shows us, the play, co-written by Shaw's son, puts the spotlight on what happened when the cameras weren't rolling.
It feels very, very good to bring it here.
After directing the Broadway production of The Shark is Broken, Guy Masterson can't wait to debut the play at the North Shore Music Theater in Beverly with one of the original producers at his side.
It's a brilliant thing for Bill Hannay, because he's also a Martha's Vineyard resident, to start it here in North Shore, this beautiful place, round stage.
During rehearsal, Jonathan Randall Silver, Josh Tyson, and Timothy W. Hull find their characters, Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Scheider, and Robert Shaw, all trapped on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
I think we underestimated the power of the sea.
Yes, lads, we have angered Neptune.
I think you mean Poseidon.
What did they teach you in school? They're the same bloody god.
The lads were getting rather frustrated and desperate, and the three very different guys in a very, very small environment, and it makes for good comedy.
The title character has had a cardiac infarction. Bruce is dead.
Bruce, the mechanical shark, never quite worked the way the film crew wanted it to.
So they take the shark out of the box, they hook it up to the rig, they take it underwater, they pull it back up, and the thing's got a dent in its chin.
Portraying the real people who starred in the first ever summer blockbuster is a welcome challenge.
Having access to, years of interviews and footage of them as, either in that time, in 1974 or, after, it helps so much in creating the character.
I think there are certain cadences you have to hit and kind of sound like it, but ultimately, like any character, you're bringing yourself to the role, and you find what you have in common, what you don't.
It's a really fun dynamic because these three guys they're so different.
Jaws is beloved all around New England, and the actors jumped at the chance to be part of this unique take on the story.
I don't think I'm quite prepared for what we're walking into, but I'm very excited for all the energy that's going to be surrounding this play.
Seeing that Guy was directing this production of it was very exciting.
Especially during the 50th anniversary.
That's right. And knowing that this would be both at North Shore and on Martha's Vineyard was, you can't beat it.
You think it's going to be a hit?
The best movies I've made have made no money. The worst have made a fortune.
Which category do we fit in?
How did they survive so long on that boat in such a small space and not tear each other to bits? And if they had torn each other to bits, what would have happened to Jaws? It may never have happened.
The Shark is Broken opens at North Shore Music Theater Friday night and runs through Sunday, May 11th. The 50th anniversary performances on the Vineyard are set to start on July 5th. Chris Tanaka, WBZ News.
We've got much more to come on the ReMix. The band Copilot is back with the first of 2 performances on the show. You don't want to miss their incredible sound and get a preview of Boston Calling next. You'll be able to catch them at Boston Calling at the end of this month. For the first time on the ReMix, here's Copilot.
Hi, we are Copilot, and we are so happy to be here on WBZ News, the ReMix. This song is called Let Me Down. Mama worked harder for pennies each day. Daddy been bruised up at the lake. But those people never let me down. Those people, yeah, never let me down. Sister got her chums at school, yeah. Brother got along playing the fool, yeah. I had nothing to get me, ooh, down those days, oh no, yeah. I won't let you get me up, oh, down those days, oh yeah. Just let me down, let me down, oh, let me up, down, yeah. Just let me down, let me down, oh, let me down, oh no, yeah. Left you with the troubles, yeah. It's time to pay your debts. Oh. Took down the picture frames, yeah. They're all that I had left. You did nothing but let me ooh, down those days. Oh, yes, you did. I won't let you get me up. Oh, down those days. Oh, yeah. Just let me down. Let me down. Don't let me up. Down, yeah. Just let me down. Let me down. Don't let me down. Yeah. Just let me down. Let me down. Don't let me up. Down, yeah. Just let me down. Let me down. Don't let me down. Oh no, for so long. You gotta go ahead and leave me. Get gone, get gone. Just let me down, oh, let me down, yeah. Just let me down, no, let me down, yeah. Just let me down.
Coming up on the Remix, pulling back the curtain on the restaurant industry. An author's new book, Cellar Rat, reveals what she calls the darker side of working in food service and her advice to people who are struggling in the industry.
Go to a restaurant, you're paying attention to the food, the service, maybe the ambiance, but from the inside out, the industry itself is so unique, and there is a lot going on behind the scenes. Joining us now to talk about it, author and sommelier Hannah Selinger. Hannah, you've got a new book out, and I love the title, Cellar Rat, My Life in the Restaurant Underbelly. Let's start with the last word, underbelly. I found that to be a really interesting choice of words.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is sort of a not talked about underbelly, like a hidden place in restaurants that we don't discuss very often. So that was kind of the second part of this memoir that I've written.
So I'm sitting here smiling and chuckling because I worked in the industry many years ago, and I think about all the hijinks. But you tackle much more tougher topics about the toxicity of the workplace, which I can certainly relate to, and I think anyone who has worked in the industry can. How did that come about? Where did that courage come from to say, you know what, it's not all rosy?
I think because I have some distance now from the industry. I left restaurant work for the final time in 2014, although at that point I had been a part-time employee, and I worked full-time in restaurants for a little over a decade. And now I've been working as a journalist, where one of my beats is restaurants. I no longer felt like my job was threatened or that I had something to lose. And I felt like I was in a comfortable enough position where I could do the work that other people who were stuck in restaurants or who were working in restaurants and needed those positions couldn't do. They couldn't be whistleblowers, but I was in a comfortable enough position that I could tell these stories.
When you're in the back of the house, in the kitchen, and you're a server, it's almost like the school of hard knocks, especially when there are some high-pressure situations in fine dining establishments. You go into detail about some of the chefs you've worked for, celebrity chefs. Your mention of David Chang made national headlines in some very big publications. Insulated, you mentioned, from them or any possible repercussions. But do you feel like it's an eye-opener for people when you start talking about celebrity chefs and they're like, this isn't the person I know from their cookbooks and TV appearances?
Definitely, and there's been a small degree, I think, of blowback. Certainly there were some people who were not happy to, learn that the people that they found beloved were not exactly who they, thought they were. But the point in all of this is that I don't necessarily believe in celebrity chef culture. I believe that when you go to a restaurant, you should have an excellent meal, and that's what you're buying into. I don't really believe that chefs are gods or that anybody is a god. These are people who pay, these are employers, and they should treat their employees with respect. And in a lot of these cases, they're not treating their employees with respect, and that was what I wanted to call attention to. It's not really about taking down people or, settling scores or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's really just about treating people fairly, and that was something that I believed wasn't happening and isn't happening in this particular sphere of American culture.
And there's so many people who have worked in it or are in it right now. What's the reception been from people inside the industry? A lot of validation?
So much validation,
yeah.
So much warmth, most of it private. I think, many people don't feel comfortable saying this stuff publicly because they still, Massachusetts, New York, the two states that I've worked in are what we call at-will employment states. You can be fired for anything. People don't like the way your hair looks. People don't like the way you're dressed. There's no protection against that level of employment. So those people don't feel comfortable going on the record and saying, this person was unkind to me or this person did something abusive, but they do feel comfortable coming to me as an author and saying, your experience reflects the experience that I had working for maybe the same person that I worked for, or maybe somebody entirely different. You know, I think the experiences that I recounted in my book are universal experiences for a lot of people who share my industry, and that was really important for me to get across.
Yeah, and it's not just the experiences. There's kind of a life guide, a life lesson in all of this, right?
Yeah.
What do you try to get across to people as they move forward and not just relate to you about, hey, I've gone through something similar?
I think the broader message that I want to get across is that the restaurant industry is still a great industry and is capable of change, and that it's incumbent upon us to change it.
Oh my gosh. All right, so from inside the restaurant industry to being the top level, an authority on wines, now to being an author of a very cool topic. Hannah Selinger, thank you so much for being here. Best of luck with the book, and I'm sure many insightful conversations ahead.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Don't go away. More to come on the remix. Copilot is back with a second performance, a preview as they get ready to hit the stage at Boston Calling. Back for their second performance, it's Copilot, and you can also catch them at Boston Calling. Enjoy.
Hey, we are Copilot. You know, so excited to be here. See us at Boston Calling on May 25th. Check out our new EP, Vroom Vroom, etc. on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to tunes. The song's called Emily. Emily, she's been saving her tips in a jar. I wanna see where that sits on a dresser one day. Oh, one day. The way she slides me a coffee, I give up my heart. It's the same routine we share each Sunday. Oh, Sunday. And you'll know that business arrives through the front, so I'm desperately trying to make my way back. This time is a sky lit by just one star. Now I'm hoping you heard me say that I never wanted something so bad, yeah. So I come back, yeah, I come back. Now, Emily keeps on saving those tips in a jar. I hope to be where that sits on a dresser one day. Oh, one day. And this time I'd slide her the coffee. She'd pick up my heart. That's the only thing I want on Sundays. Oh, on Sundays, yeah. Business arrives through the front, so I'm desperately trying to make my way back. This time is a sky lit by just one star. Now I'm knowing you heard me say that I've never wanted something so bad. I've never wanted something so bad. Never wanted something so bad. Yeah. So I come back to this diner one day a week. I don't even like the coffee and the food's not cheap, but I've got no control. I think she knows as long as she's there. Oh, and the place is always crowded, but she's looking for me, and her face lights up right at 7:15, and the bell on the door, the signal home. As long as she's there. Oh yeah, I could lose my bus ticket, I could miss the train. I'm like to you through the pouring rain. I've got no control, and I think she knows. As long as she's there. Now how about I turn over the sign on the front of the door? Where would the two of us go? Who even knows and who should care? As long as she's there, yeah, yeah. Emily keeps on saving those tips in a jar.
Just incredible. Thank you so much to Copilot, and be sure to check out the entire remix performance on our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week for more lifestyle, community, and entertainment news.